My name is Campbell. I'm a teacher of English here at Crossing Passion. In September of 1978, I arrived here as a first-year pupil, as we were known then. Nervous, very uncomfortable, in a heavy brown uniform, blazer, big clumpy shoes. We were asked to gather in the lounge area, a beautifully appointed room along the veranda corridor behind us here, down the yellow stairs. This was, for most of us, our first glimpse inside what had always been an iconic and intriguing building, the convent as it was locally known. This impressive and imposing structure had looked down on the town of Ballycastle since 1924, when the builders of W.J. Taggart's on Ballymoney had completed their work and left the Sisters of the Cross and Passion a facility to provide education. We were promptly arranged into form classes. My form teacher was Mrs. Nuala Conley. And we were led off to begin our lessons in a school which reflected and represented two worlds. One world was the old convent, below our present site. This building was ornate and handsomely decorated. It featured its own chapel, large classrooms, dormitories for the boarders, the lounge and a staff room. Parquet floors, quality furniture and tasteful curtains were seen throughout. Our new shoes squeaked on the shining floors, and our young footsteps thundered up solid stairways. I recall large green lockers on certain corridors, tall windows, stained glass murals. Statues of saints and scholars looked down on us, slightly disapprovingly. The gardens outside sloped down with manicured grass, bright shrubs and sturdy trees. Down the years, these gardens provided a venue for many couples in Ballycastle and their weddings. Splendid surroundings. The sudden appearance of one of the sisters, though, rendered us into silence and order. And without much explanation, we knew we had entered a world of high standards and expectations. The other world was the brand new extension of Cross and Passion, completed in 1978 under the principalship of Sister Vaughan, and which to this day accommodates our pupils and our various departments. This was an equally exciting place for us to be. State-of-the-art rooms for commerce, whatever that was. Technical drawing, cookery, woodwork and metalwork all grabbed our attention. The science labs were clinical and robust. The sports hall and gym were the envy of all local schools, because we had a long jump pit, and we had an all-weather hurling pitch, and we had climbing ropes to dangle from, and trampolines to help us reach the stars. We debated in the comfort of the lecture theatre, we studied and read in the quiet solidity of the library, and the sixth form pupils in their stripy green blazers completed their work in a bespoke study room and relaxed in their own lounge area, now the present music room behind me. The male teachers all seem to have at least a moustache and often a full beard. Female teachers clip-clopped down corridors, clasping registers and glaring brilliantly. Mr. Dallett was our hero in the Ballycastle senior hurling team. Mr. Hegarty had a very cool brown Adidas tracksuit. Mr. Grace wore a strange cloak to save his clothes from the paint in the art room. And Mr. Campbell had the new Sinclair ZX80 computer up and running in his room, and we gathered at lunchtime for games of pong. Sean O'Halloran, then head of English at the time, wrote in the school magazine, "We find, we fit." He was, of course, referring to the fact that Cross and Passion College, by that stage of its existence, had amalgamated with the Stars of Sea School here in the town, and that an all-ability school was up and running. For all of these changes, and there were many more, When asked what school we went to, we instinctively answered, the convent, a reference to the building which was opened here almost exactly 100 years ago today. As a young pupil here, I recall a mixture of lay teachers and sisters of the Cross and Passion taking me for my various subjects. Sister Barbara taught me English in a room just at the end of the veranda corridor here. Many years later, I encountered her at Euston Station in London. I was emerging sleepily off the overnight train from Glasgow, and she firmly advised me to tidy myself up. Standards and expectations. Sister Pauline taught me Latin, but could not secure me a career in law or medicine. Sister Catherine enthusiastically taught geography, and Sister Ludwina got me an O-level in music, even though she liked Mozart and Mendelssohn, and I liked Madness and Meatloaf. Sister Margaret also taught me a lesson in a game of tennis one day, but the least said about that the better. My principals were Sister Una and Sister Margaret Rose. I was part of the last few year groups here to complete my A-level exams in a large room in the convent called the Green Room. My final paper was on the history of the French Revolution, and I walked out that day knowing for certain that I would never be back again. 11 years later, I found myself back with the remit of teaching English in Cross and Passion, but clearly, by this stage, we have become one world. The old convent building sat sadly empty now on Moyle Road, awaiting demolition and a new housing development to be built. Gone were the girls who had started in school in 1924, resplendent in brown uniforms and boater hats. Girls who had come from all over Ireland, as far away as New Zealand and Africa and Europe. Gone for the most part were the sisters of the Cross and Passion, and the veranda corridor now led to a dead end. In the late autumn of 1998, 20 years after I had started here as a pupil, I took my own form class, including our current member of staff, Mrs. Scullion, down Moyle Road and into the convent building, then largely abandoned and awaiting demolition. I wanted to give them a history tour, step back in time. I took them through the lounge at the bottom of the yellow stairs and along the corridors and peeked into classrooms. In the gloom and in the dust, the years rolled away from me. To my pleasant surprise, these modern pupils liked what they saw and marveled at what the old school looked like. They wished it had all been preserved and was still in use. We came out into the light that day, the last pupil's footsteps on the hardwood floor. In 1978, writing in Scopic magazine, a magazine the school had in that era, Sister Una stated, "A new building with the best facilities and equipment is a great asset to any institute of education. They do not, however, constitute the heart of a school. It is the life and vitality of a school community that will outlive the bricks and mortar." So today, we rightly celebrate 100 years of education on this site in Ballycamp, an outworking of the vision of Elizabeth Prout, the founder of the Cross and Passion Sisters. We recognise the evolution of a school from grammar school for girls to co-ed to all ability, through change and progress and advancement across a century. Over the next 2 years, we all hope to outlive these current bricks and mortar and step across Moyle Road to our new shared campus. We will travel lightly and leave behind the material things of little worth. We will, however, bring with us life and vitality and the traditions and values nurtured in the two worlds from which we have emerged.